everyone, it's Nina. Thanks so much for joining me today for a new tutorial. We're going to be creating a box card, and this is something new from the Simon Says Stamp Love You 2 release. I'm going to show you how to build the box card and then decorate it with some of the new stamps that are also part of this release. This is a really simple and easy card design, and the coolest part is that when this card is all finished, this dimensional piece will fit in a regular A2 sized envelope. So it's really simple and easy to mail as well, so you're not going to require any special postage. To get started, I have the Best Friend Ever stamp set, which is a beautiful floral set, and I also have the box card die. There's also the box card borders, but I'm not going to be using those in today's video, but you could use those to decorate the inserts that go into the box card. The box card is super simple. All you have to do is cut it once from some cardstock, and in this case, I'm going to use the new wood grain cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. This is a simple process of just die cutting, and then the die creates all of the score lines that you need to build the shape of the box card. So I'm going to remove this from the die and then start taking all of those score lines and folding them over so that they all have a really nice good crease. And I'll use my bone folder to reinforce those folds just to make sure that they're completely folded over and nice and crisp. So we're going to go ahead and fold every single score line that's created from this box card. There's a total of 4 score lines that you're going to want to go ahead and fold over. Once we have all those folded, you can kind of see the general direction that our box is going to end up going. So this will get attached to a card panel. Your card panel can be whatever size you want. You're going to want the size of the width to be 3.5 inches wide. The height can be however tall you want. Now, if you want it to fit into a standard A2 size card, I recommend making it 4.25. So once we have the box sides adhered to this panel, it's going to be able to fold flat so that you can put it into those A2 envelopes. Before we go any further though, I need to start decorating. I thought I would do a little bit of ink blending on the panel that's going to get attached to the back side of my box card. So I'm using Simon Says Stamp inks to go ahead and blend a really nice color combo of teal and green for a very spring-like background. Then I'll bring in a box, this is my splatter box, and I'm going to shake up the Tim Holtz Distress Stain in Picket Fence. I love this material for creating splatters on my projects. It's got a really nice opaque finish to it. So I'm going to head shake it up really well to get that mixer ball going. And then I'm just going to start splattering this across my panel. Now I like big chunky splatters too, so I'm going to make sure I get really heavy application on the little spritzer wand as I dab this across my card. While that dries, I'm going to start working on coloring in my images. So I'm pulling out that Best Friend Ever set, and I'm going to stamp 2 of the flowers onto white cardstock with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. And I'm only going to show the coloring of one of the flowers because I colored both of them the exact same way. So I'm just going to show you quickly how we colored this. I used Copic markers to add some shading to my flowers. I started off with a really light color of RV quadruple 0, then I blended in RV21, RV10, and I'll also bring in a little bit of RV25 in certain areas for a little bit more of an intense shadow. So those were the pinks, and then I also pulled in some greens. So all the greens are colored with YG quadruple 0, YG28, YG13, and a little bit of YG23. I blended these shades together. I was more playing around with the color combinations and I really liked this particular shading, so this worked for me. I'll color all the leaves the exact same way, and basically I'm creating a darker center and then feathering that out to the lightest color. Once all of my coloring is complete, I did pull out the coordinating dies for this Best Friend Ever stamp set, and I'll cut this out with my die cut machine. I like to hold down coordinating dies like this with some purple tape just to make sure that the die doesn't shift as it's cutting. At this point, I decided because my flower was quite large, I wanted to make the box card front a little bit shorter than the standard height that it comes in. So I'm going to line this up inside of my Tim Holtz trimmer, and I'm just going to chop this down so that the height is at 1.5 inches. This way my box card will be shorter and give room for the larger flower that I'm using today. to build my box card, I will have to remember to cut down the inserts so that they also are at 1.5 inches tall as well. So on the box card, we're going to put adhesive on the 2 small flaps on either end of this shape. Then we're going to fold those over and lay them onto either end of the panel that is the exact same width as the total finished box card, which is 3.5 inches wide. So both of those flaps get adhered to either side of that panel. And then once they're adhered, our box card is pretty much complete at this point. Now the task is to start adding inserts. And you could add as many inserts as you'd like. Here you can see how that box card will look as it's finished. So for the inserts, I pulled out some Simon Says Stamp white cardstock, which is the same cardstock that I used to create the background. And I'm going to do some ink blending on these as well. I thought green would be a nice color for this because I'm making a window box effect here with my box card. So I thought it'd be fun to do some green for a little bit of a grassy green look to go with the flowers. I'm using double-sided adhesive to attach to either side of those little tabs that are on these inserts because these will get adhered to the box card. And just like I did for the box card front, I also cut this down to 1.5 inches tall. All right, so the trick for adding these inserts in, I find I like to adhere one side first and then fold the box card over to the shape that it would be when you stick it into your envelope. So that flattens the other tab onto the other side of the box card, and it allows the inserts to fold into the exact shape they need to be when the box card is closed. Now we're ready to start decorating. I do plan on adding another insert in a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I got the background done first before I added that final insert, just so I had a little bit more room to work with. So there's my other flower cluster that I colored the exact same way as this one here that I'm gluing down onto one of the inserts. So that back grouping of flowers is adhered down with foam tape onto the backer card of our box card, and then the other one is adhered to one of the inserts. I also plan on adding some butterflies to my scene. I used a Simon Says Stamp stitched butterfly die, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them from glitter cardstock. But before I go any further, I do want to color them with some Copic markers. I gently colored over the glitter paper with a couple of shades of both pink and blue, and these are going to look really pretty amongst our flowers. Because I want these to look as if they're floating amongst the flowers, here's a little trick for you. I like to use acetate strips to be able to glue things like this into my project because this is going to make the butterfly look as if it's floating. But you're not going to really see that acetate strip, so it's going to kind of blend in with the rest of the card, and it really does make the butterflies look like they're floating in between the flowers. The other fun part is that when a breeze catches this card, the butterflies actually float, so they really do look like they're fluttering around. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere both of these butterflies to the inserts that are in my card here. I'm just adding little strips of adhesive along the bottom edge of those acetate strips, and that's going to hold down those butterflies to those inserts. I'm embellishing my card a little bit by adding some cupcake frosting sequins, which are part of the new Love You 2 release from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm gluing these in between the flowers and even on top of some of the flowers, just for a little bit of sparkle. At this point, we are almost done, but I do want to add a sentiment. I love the Thankful To sentiment from CZ Designs and Simon Says Stamp. It's so beautiful, and I love the scriptiness of the font. So we're going to go ahead and die cut this from some blue cardstock that matches the background, and then I'm going to stack 3 of these together to create a stacked greeting, and then I'll glue that onto the outline that also comes with that set. There's also a new sentiment stamp set in this release, and this is the Inside Friendship Messages stamp set. I took one of the greetings and I actually cut it off because I just wanted to say for your friendship so that it matched up with the thankful greeting that I've already die cut. I stamped and embossed that onto black cardstock, and then I'll just trim this down with our Simon Says Stamp sentiment labels die. It's one of my favorites for cutting out sentiments. And this will make sure I have a really nice straight little sentiment label that I can add down onto my box card. I used foam tape to attach this down. You could of course use liquid glue if you want something a little less bulky. But this card is complete at this point. Now I love how this turned out. It's so cute. It has so much dimension. And then the best part is that it fits into a regular envelope. Well, at least it should. I made a slight mistake and I actually glued one of the butterflies a little too tall to fit inside of my A2 envelope. If I had made the butterfly a little shorter, it would have fit, but I don't know what I was thinking when I was gluing that down. So I'm gonna have to make a custom envelope for this, but that's okay. If you were creating this card, you would be able to fit yours into an envelope because you'll remember to glue your butterfly a little bit lower than the panel. Well, I hope you were inspired by today's project using the new box card die from Simon Says Stamp. I love this die. It was so much fun to use, and I can't wait to make more box cards with this die and other products from Simon Says Stamp. Don't forget that there also is the box card borders die, which I did not use in today's project, but it pairs perfectly with this card to be able to make waves, grassy areas, hillsides, clouds, and so much more. So I hope you'll check all that out. I have links to the new release in my video description below. I'm also participating in the Love You To release blog hop. So if you'd like to see more inspiration using the release, you'll definitely want to check that out. But we also have a giveaway with any purchases of $100 or more. You get the large 6x8 Faraway Hugs stamp set, which is brand new from Simon Says Stamp, never before released. And it has so many cute and adorable images, perfect for not only Valentine's Day, but just for sending out some cute love notes to friends and family. All the details for everything I've mentioned today are, like I said, in the video description or over on my blog. I thank you so much for stopping by and watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to bring more inspiration for you using this awesome Love You To collection. See you soon!